The film starts and we see a man named Thomas who comes home and gets the news that his sister has been kidnapped, and his sister sent a letter to her dad. It was written that, "If you want to see me alive, then you have to come to an island and pay for the price of my freedom, otherwise the kidnappers will kill me." Now Thomas was ready to save his sister. He started his journey by train and reached the shore, from where he had to take a boat to the island. Before getting onto the boat, Thomas sees that he has a different ticket from the others. He feels this strange, so he cleverly changes his ticket with a man. When he got on the train, he saw the man with whom he changed the ticket. There was a cross mark on his stuff. Their boat reaches the island the next morning, and Thomas sees that some people were taking that man somewhere. The newcomers were welcomed to the island and was given an empty bottle. Thomas goes to his room and sees a book written by the island leader, Malcolm. Malcolm calls himself an angel that he became after coming here. He considers himself the father of this island. Most of the island's residents are fugitives who came here to escape the government after committing crimes. The next morning, Thomas meets the doctor who is Malcolm's daughter, and then sees that the man is captive by some people, and his condition is also worse. Later, Thomas goes to the church where everyone from the island is present. Here, Malcolm shares his story with his friends, how they began living on the island and how it eventually became populated. Malcolm says, "We were criminals, but we escaped from the prison and started living here. Look, we have a happy life," he says. "The goddess of this island not only saved us, but also chose me as an angel." Malcolm assures the people there is no tax, there is no war, and the people here are completely free. Meanwhile, a lady passes outside the church, and surprisingly, only Thomas sees her. Then Malcolm also sees that lady and then looks at Thomas, who was already watching her. On the other side, they find no money from the man whom they caught and understand that they made a mistake. They understand that the one who came here to release her is hiding between us. This made them furious, and they kill him. One of Malcolm's friend's daughter loves his other friend's son, but they keep it secret. The boy was named Jeremy. Thomas wanders on the island at night and sees the newcomers collecting blood in their bottles. Thomas goes outside Malcolm's house and sees him going from a secret path that was actually a tunnel. While returning, he sees Jeremy and his friend who were together at this time. Thomas understands that there is something between them. He returns and sees blood bottles outside each door. Then he fills his bottle with blood from the other bottle and hangs it outside his house. As he opens the door, his hand is injured due to the key, and blood drops fall on the ground. He goes to his room. Meanwhile, a lady comes and starts licking that blood. She looks scary. Thomas then tears a page from Malcolm's book and makes a map on it. After it, we are shown a house at a far distance in the forest, from where Malcolm comes out from the other end of the tunnel. A terrible man was guarding this house and tunnel, who was Malcolm's servant, and Malcolm goes inside the house. The next morning, Jeremy comes to take Thomas to work and thanks him for keeping their relation a secret. Thomas then asks Jeremy about his sister. At first, he doesn't tell anything, but when Thomas beats him, Jeremy starts telling that a month ago Malcolm, along with his friends, including my father, brought your sister here so that they can demand money from your father for kidnapping your sister. He tells him that the people of the island are suffering, the crops are ruined, and the animals also stopped breeding. They have to get food supplies from outside to stay alive. That is why Malcolm and his friends need money, due to which they did this, otherwise everyone will die of hunger. Thomas says to Jeremy that if you want to keep your relationship private, then you have to help me. Jeremy agrees to this. Malcolm wants to call the newcomers to the church for their introduction, so that he could find the man who came here to save his sister and will give them money. Now everyone should memorize Malcolm's book, and this was the rule. So he starts listening to some pages of his book from everyone. Before Thomas gets caught on his turn, a man attacks Malcolm, sent by the king to kill Malcolm because he has become his enemy to rule this island. Thomas escapes Malcolm from that man, but also gets injured. The attacker was killed, and Malcolm brings Thomas to his doctor daughter. Malcolm promises Thomas that I will always be loyal to you because you saved me. Malcolm and his friends were trying to find that man to get money from him. At night, Thomas's sister was brought in front of everyone, and Malcolm announced her an agent sent by the king, and one of her companions is also hiding in the village. Then Malcolm threatens that if the man doesn't come forward, the girl will be killed. Thomas is frightened to hear this, but even so, he doesn't come out. As a result, their plan fails. The next morning, they chained Thomas's sister and a few kids were teasing her. Malcolm's daughter comes to give her food. She scolds and flee the kids from there. Malcolm and his companion talk that today they will arrange a festival, and when people will come to this festival, we will search their houses, we will find the money and man too. At night, when everyone was enjoying the festival, Thomas gets into the tunnel while breaking Malcolm's house wall with the help of Jeremy. While searching, Malcolm and his companion found a map in Thomas's room that he had made. Suspecting that Thomas is hiding in their house, Malcolm tells Jeremy's father, his friend, to go and capture him. When Jeremy's dad reaches outside Malcolm's house, he finds Jeremy there, but flees him because he understands that there is his son Jeremy helping Thomas. At the same time, Malcolm and his friend come, and his friend enters the tunnel to capture Thomas. Malcolm's daughter sees all this. After this, Malcolm rides on his horse and went to the other side of the tunnel. Both the exits of the tunnel were closed, and Thomas moves to the bloodstream in the tunnel to escape. He sees a scary woman moving towards him, and she was the same lady who was licking the blood. Thomas gets scared of her and moves to the other side to escape. He sees himself in a part of the tunnel. There he finds some signs related to this island's goddess. Malcolm now goes to the forest house where he imprisoned the goddess. He approaches the goddess and asks, "Did you appear before this boy? If so, why did you do it? That boy isn't trustworthy." The goddess remained silent, but anger was clear on Malcolm's face. Then he cuts his hand and goes to the goddess and says, "Stop making our crops poisonous. Otherwise, you will have to die of hunger." He makes goddess drink his blood. Meanwhile, there were flowers and leaves start growing on the dry branches at the same time. Malcolm's servant brings Thomas's sister in a huge sack and hangs her. Thomas has to spend the whole night in the tunnel. Malcolm's daughter comes in the morning and gives him clothes to change. She wants to help Thomas. Thomas feels weird and says, "The man who wants to kill me, his daughter is helping me, why?" Malcolm's daughter says, "No. This is a lie, my father can't be a killer." Then Thomas tells her that her father is an evil human, and he is pretending to be an angel. "He kidnapped and imprisoned my sister here." Malcolm's daughter has empathy for Thomas, so she takes him to the dry fields and says, "No one can find you here. These crops are ruined because of poison and none come here, so you will be safe here." Malcolm went to his friend's house, but there was no one because he left with all his stuff. Malcolm then goes to the seashore where his friend was getting ready to leave on his boat. He says to Malcolm, "I don't want to be involved in these things anymore, and I am leaving with my son." But Malcolm stops him, saying that we have made this island together, and you can't leave it like this. On the other side, Jeremy comes to his friend's house and she tells him that she is pregnant. Jeremy wants to give her something which he always out to bring, but then her father comes and also finds out that her daughter is expecting. He says to his daughter, "This baby will be the reason for your death." She doesn't listen, but when Jeremy returns, he sees that his friend was killed by her father. This makes Jeremy furious. He attacks her father and injures him. The girl's father runs out immediately and says to the people that he is the killer. "He killed my daughter and now wants to kill me." He wanted to prove himself oppressed in front of people. Jeremy escapes from there to see this. The girl's father says he is criminal and we have to purify him. The guards say only our angel Malcolm can order us to purify, but he says Malcolm is not the real leader. "I am the real leader and you have to obey me." The guards now chase Jeremy to capture him. He runs to the dry fields to Malcolm's daughter. He asks for help, but meanwhile, the guards arrive and take him from there. Malcolm's daughter tries to stop them and moves behind them. Thomas also wants to save Jeremy, so he also chases them. Then Jeremy was brought to the unfaithful friend of Malcolm, who says we have to purify him. In the name of making him purify, they kill him. Even Malcolm's daughter stops them. Now Thomas was also caught. Meanwhile, Malcolm and his friend Jeremy's father also reached there, but it was too late, and Jeremy was dead. Jeremy's dad weeps a lot, but then Malcolm's friend asks the guards to take him from there. Malcolm says to his companion that "You did right and I am the real leader." But his friend says, "Not you, but I am the real leader." And to prove him coward and weak in front of people, he says he is a fake angel, and we are facing bad days because of him, and if he is an angel, then prove it. He says, "For this you must kill Thomas in front of everyone, and your daughter will witness it too." When Malcolm moves ahead to kill Thomas, his daughter comes in between and tries to stop him. But Malcolm says now it is better to kill him. Before he could kill Thomas, a bullet was heard. It was fired by Jeremy's dad, who returned and says now it is the time to kill the goddess. Saying this, he runs into the forest, and Thomas frees himself while attacking the guards. He also runs into the forest, and Malcolm and his friend chase after him. Reaching the house in the forest, Thomas sees that Malcolm's terrifying servant has killed Jeremy's father, but before dying, he asks Thomas to end all of this by setting everything on fire. Before the scary servant sees Thomas, he moves inside the house through a big hole. Meanwhile, Malcolm also arrives with his companion. His friend tries to kill Malcolm's servant, but Malcolm stops him. In his anger, he shoots Malcolm, hitting him in the shoulder, and he falls into the tunnel. His friend believes that Malcolm is dead. Thomas sees that the servant is forcing the goddess to drink blood. As the goddess drinks, the dry leaves begin to turn green. Thomas also finds his sister, whom Thomas brings out from the sack, but then the servant comes and attacks Thomas's head, which makes him unconscious. Malcolm's companion comes inside and takes Thomas's sister. After it, he goes to Malcolm's house and arrests his daughter too. When Thomas comes to his senses, he finds himself tied with a grinder machine before the machine could grind him. Luckily, his rope untied and Thomas gets free. He was free, but his hand gets injured. Then he somehow ties the scary servant up and throws him into the grinder machine, killing him. Then he goes to the goddess, who says, "You have come. I was waiting for you." Then she holds his head and shows him what Malcolm and his friends did when they came there. They captured the goddess and oppressed her. The goddess says to Thomas, "Now please free me from all these things." Hearing this, Thomas sets the goddess on fire, and she was finished. As this happens, fires break out in all the houses in the village, and everything comes to an end. The villagers escape by moving to the boats. Malcolm also escapes, but his friend imprisons his daughter and Thomas's sister in the church. He says to Malcolm's daughter, "I found the goddess, got information about her, captured her, and discovered that she would return us what we wanted when we provided her blood to drink. At first we gave her animal blood, but when she stopped working in anger for what we did to her, we needed human blood. We did this. We gave her human blood. The goddess is just a machine. We feed her, and she made us wealthy. Now I will kill you both and feed her," he said, about to attack the girls. Meanwhile, Thomas reached there and attacked him. The girls also unchained themselves with a key. Malcolm's companion attacked Thomas with a knife to escape and injured him badly. Then the girls strangled Malcolm's companion with their chains and killed him. Thomas, now injured, asked his sister and Malcolm's daughter to escape from there. "The boat is waiting for you." His sister said, "No, brother, we will not leave you here," and then they moved together. Thomas was badly injured, making it difficult for him to survive. He fell there and said to his sister, "I promised myself that no matter if I survive or not, I will save you." "My sister, understand this, you have to go alone while leaving me here." Thomas's sister and Malcolm's daughter sat on the boat with heavy hearts and left from there. Malcolm also reached there and saw new plants growing at the places where Thomas's blood had been dripping. Seeing this, Thomas smiles and lies on the ground. Then, the plants rise from the earth and wrap around him in a gentle embrace. Malcolm also smiled upon seeing this because Thomas was the new god of this island. The people here wouldn't have to die of hunger, because thanks to Thomas, they would never lack anything. He would make them wealthy, and this island would live a happy life. Thus, this story concludes.